Okay, so we've got an interesting one today. Viewers sent in some stuff about video compressors.
Oh, yeah.
And I gotta say, I was pretty blown away by like the size of this whole market.
Yeah. It's huge, isn't it? I mean, we're
Yeah.
talking about a market that's already worth like $2.5 billion
Yeah, like just this year.
this year, and it's projected to like almost double
Wow.
to almost $5 billion by 2032.
That's wild.
Yeah, with a really, really healthy growth rate, like almost 9% a year.
Yeah, that's I mean, that tells you like there's a lot more going on here than just, making files a bit smaller, right?
Yeah.
Like
So, yeah.
this is a whole big world.
Yeah, it really is.
And the stuff that that you sent me really digs into like what's driving all this.
Right.
It's not just about like saving storage space on our phones anymore.
No.
It's about like, you think about all this high resolution video content,
Right.
like 4K and like even 8K stuff
KK. Yeah.
that needs to be stored and streamed efficiently.
Yeah.
And then you've got like just the explosion of like streaming services.
Yeah. Online gaming.
Online gaming.
Yeah. Becoming so much more visually intensive.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like we all know,
Social media.
social media is just constant video.
It's all video now.
Video conferencing, too.
Video conferencing. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And all of that relies on
Video compression.
effective video compression. Yeah.
If we didn't have decent video compression,
Yeah.
like the internet would just grind to a halt, I think.
It would be a mess.
It'd be a mess, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like it's kind of invisible,
Yeah.
but it's absolutely fundamental to like the whole
It underpins everything.
Yeah, it underpins everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's what allows us to have like, a relatively smooth online video experience.
Right.
Right. It minimizes buffering.
Yeah.
It makes sure things play back without like, totally sacrificing the quality of what we're seeing.
Yeah, it's that balance, isn't it,
Yeah.
between file size
Right.
and the visual detail.
Yeah, you don't want to like watch, the latest blockbuster movie and it
Yeah.
looks like it was filmed on a potato.
No, absolutely not.
So for this deep dive, what we really want to understand is
Okay.
who are the major players in this market?
Right.
Like who's really driving this?
Yeah, who's leading the pack?
And what are the things that they're doing to be successful?
Yeah, what are the ingredients for success in this market?
Right, exactly. And the material that you send over gives us a really good overview of like who those top companies are.
Yeah.
And it pinpoints like 5 kind of main companies.
Right. The top 5.
The top 5, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got Wondershare, HandBrake, FFmpeg,
Yeah.
FreeMake, and Movavi.
Great lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's dive in
Okay, let's do it.
and start with the current market leader,
Right.
which is Wondershare.
So Wondershare, they're holding a pretty significant chunk of this market.
Yeah.
They've got 18%
80%. Yeah. That's a big chunk.
of a multi-billion-dollar market.
Yeah. So what is it about them that's made them so successful?
So one of the things that really stands out about Wondershare is their focus on like user friendliness.
Yeah.
They create a whole range of tools that are designed to be easy to use.
Yeah.
And they don't just specialize in compression.
Okay.
They offer like a whole suite of video editing capabilities.
So it's kind of like a one-stop shop for people who are
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
working with video.
Yeah, for a lot of people. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So and their flagship product is this thing called Wondershare Uniconverter.
That's the one. Yeah.
And it gets specifically mentioned for being able to like compress videos really quickly,
Yes.
but without like losing too much quality.
Right. That balance is so important.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be like a crucial advantage, right? Like getting that balance right between speed and like making sure it still looks good.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a real key differentiator for them.
Yeah.
And they've also been really good at keeping up with these high resolution formats that we were talking about. So they support 4K and 8K.
Oh wow. Okay.
But here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
In 2023, they really expanded their use of AI in compression.
AI. Okay.
So that suggests that they're moving towards these more intelligent systems
Yeah.
that can actually analyze a video
Oh wow.
and automatically kind of optimize the compression settings.
So it's not just like, a set algorithm. It's actually like thinking about the content.
Yeah, it's getting smarter.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's about finding that best possible trade-off between file size and how good it actually looks.
Wow. So AI is really making its way into video compression, huh?
Yeah, it's a real turning point, I think.
Yeah, it feels like a big turning point.
Yeah.
And Wondershare seems to have like a pretty broad appeal. Like they
Yeah.
cater to individuals and also larger companies.
Yeah. They've got a good presence in both the consumer and enterprise markets.
Yeah. And those cloud integration features are becoming like more and more important.
Yeah, essential, really.
Yeah, for collaboration, just like being able to access your stuff from anywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Wondershare.
That's
market
plenty.
leader.
Yeah.
Okay. 18%.
Moving on, we've got HandBrake,
Okay, HandBrake.
which is still a pretty significant player.
Yeah, they're holding strong at 16%.
16%, yeah.
Of the market share.
Yeah, and my understanding is that HandBrake has kind of a different profile
It does, yeah.
compared to Wondershare.
Yes.
Like it's kind of got a different reputation.
Yeah, it's the open source powerhouse in this space.
Oh, okay, open source.
Yeah.
So that means it's free to use.
It is free to use.
Okay.
And it's renowned for being incredibly powerful and customizable.
So people who really like to get into the weeds.
Yeah, the real techies.
Yeah.
The enthusiasts.
Yeah.
They really love HandBrake because it gives them that granular control over all the compression settings.
Yeah, so it's not as much of an out-of-the-box solution. It's more for
Just for the tinkerers.
Yeah, tinkerers.
Yeah. Okay, but being open source, it's not just about being free.
No, it's like
There's a whole kind of philosophy behind it.
it's a whole different approach to software development.
Yeah.
It means that HandBrake is developed by a community
Oh, okay.
of passionate developers.
There's like a constant evolution.
Yeah, it's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
It's adapting to new codecs, to new user needs.
That's cool.
And it can do that in a way that proprietary software often struggles with.
Okay, so it's like a much more agile kind of development process.
Yeah, much more agile.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it can support like a really wide range of formats because of that.
Yeah, a vast array of video and audio formats.
Yeah, okay.
And like Wondershare HandBrake has also embraced these new technologies.
Okay.
So in 2023, they introduced things like GPU acceleration
Okay.
and AI-assisted encoding.
So they're also using AI.
Yeah, they're getting on board with the AI train.
Okay.
And that's significant because, customizable software can sometimes be a bit slower.
Right, because it's doing more.
Yeah, it's doing a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
But by leveraging the power of modern graphics cards
Okay.
and these intelligent algorithms,
Right.
they're able to really speed things up.
So it's kind of getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah, you get the control and the speed.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So it seems like adaptability and like embracing new technologies is really crucial for staying ahead in this market.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to keep moving.
You snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we've got FFmpeg.
Okay.
FFmpeg.
12% market share.
Yeah, 12%.
And this one sounds like it's kind of like the engine under the hood
That's a great way to put it.
for a lot of video processing.
Yeah, it's more than just a single tool.
Okay.
It's like a comprehensive multimedia framework. It
Yeah.
provides the building blocks for so many professional applications.
So a lot of the stuff that we use probably uses FFmpeg,
Very likely.
even if we don't know it.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
Yeah, things like broadcasting content, streaming media production.
Okay.
If a piece of software is working with video or audio,
Yeah.
chances are FFmpeg is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Doing its thing.
And the material that we have here highlights like how it supports pretty much any audio or video format
Yeah, it's known for its broad support.
you can think of.
Pretty much anything you throw at it, it can handle.
Wow.
And it's got really advanced customization options as well.
So this is another one for the tinkerers.
Yeah, for the people who really want to get under the hood.
Yeah.
It also mentions some updates they made in 2023
Okay.
that were focused on making real-time compression more efficient
Okay.
and improving how it works with these newer codecs like AV1 and HEVC.
AV1 and HEVC. Now, those are the newer standards that are all about like squeezing more quality into smaller files,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Okay, so explain that to me like I'm 5 because I
see. Okay, so imagine you've got like a big box full of stuff.
Okay.
And you want to like fit it all into a smaller box.
Yeah.
You need to find a really efficient way to pack everything in right.
Right.
So these codecs, AV1, HEVC, they're like new and improved ways of packing the video information.
Okay.
So you get the same stuff,
Yeah.
but it takes up less space.
So it's like a better packing algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. And they're constantly evolving too.
Yeah.
So FFmpeg's commitment to keeping up to date with those is really important.
And that makes sense, especially for like the professional users who are relying on it.
Right. Absolutely.
One thing that is mentioned, though, is that its primary interface is the command line.
Right.
So this is not a point-and-click kind of tool.
Not really, no.
This is for people who like to type.
Yeah, for your coders and your developers.
Yeah.
It gives you incredible power and control.
Okay.
You can really automate things precisely,
Okay.
but it's definitely not for everyone.
So if you're just looking to like quickly shrink a video on your phone,
Probably not the first choice.
this is not the tool for you.
Yeah, you might want to look elsewhere.
Okay, so that's FFmpeg.
That's FFmpeg.
All right. Next in line we have FreeMake.
FreeMake, okay.
8% of the market.
Yeah, 8%.
And this one is described as offering a good balance between being easy to use
Right.
and still having like powerful features.
It's trying to hit that sweet spot.
Yeah. So appealing to a pretty wide audience.
Yeah, a broad range of users.
Yeah.
The straightforward user interface is a big plus for them.
Yeah, because not everyone wants to be a coder, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And like the others, they've also jumped on the AI bandwagon
Okay.
in 2023. So they've integrated AI into their compression algorithms.
Okay.
And the goal there is to improve both the quality and the speed.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of similar to what we were seeing with the other companies.
Yeah, it's becoming a bit of a trend.
Yeah.
And another really handy feature that they offer is batch processing.
Batch processing. Explain that one to me.
So instead of having to compress each video file individually,
Okay.
you can just select a whole bunch of them.
Okay. And FreeMake will just churn through them all in one go.
So if you've got like, a ton of videos from your vacation,
Yeah, exactly.
you don't have to do them one by one.
You could just do it all at once.
Oh, that's a huge time saver.
It is a massive time saver. Yeah.
Okay.
And that makes it really popular with content creators and small businesses.
Yeah, people who are dealing with a lot of video content.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so FreeMake, good balance, ease of use, and power.
Yeah. Good all-rounder.
Okay, and finally we have Movavi.
Okay. Movavi.
6% market share.
6%.
Yeah, and this one is also described as being user-friendly,
Yeah. They focus on that.
but still feature-rich.
Yeah. So again, hitting that sweet spot.
So it seems like accessibility is like a key area of competition in this market.
Yeah.
Like everyone's trying to make it as easy as possible for people to use their software.
Yeah. You don't want to alienate people
Right.
with a complicated interface.
Yeah, you want to make it as easy as possible to get people on board. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So what makes Movavi stand out then?
So they position themselves as a versatile tool for a lot of different users.
Okay.
So from people who just do a bit of light video editing
Yeah.
to marketers who need to optimize videos for campaigns.
Okay.
Their Movavi video converter is known for having these intelligent presets.
Intelligent presets. What are those?
So these presets will automatically adjust the compression settings
Okay.
based on where the video is going to be used.
So like if I'm uploading to YouTube,
Yeah, exactly.
there's a preset for that.
There might be a preset for that.
Okay. That's right.
So if you're going to a specific social media platform,
Right.
it'll choose the optimal settings for that platform.
That's really clever.
Yeah, it takes the guesswork out of it for people who aren't really technical.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they've also made a move towards cloud-based video compression in 2023.
Oh, cloud-based. Okay.
Yeah. So instead of relying on the power of your own computer,
Yeah.
the compression happens on their servers.
Okay, so it's like offloading that processing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's probably faster.
Yeah, especially for large files.
And you can access it from anywhere.
And you can access it from anywhere, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that cloud-based processing, that feels like a natural evolution,
Yeah, it does.
especially as video files are getting bigger and bigger.
Especially with 4K and 8K becoming more common.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are a top 5.
There's our lineup.
Wondershare, HandBrake, FFmpeg, FreeMake, Movavi.
Yeah, the big 5.
The big 5. But the material you shared also makes it clear that these companies can't just sit back and relax.
No, they can't get complacent.
Because there's some really interesting emerging players in this market.
There's some up-and-comers snapping at their heels.
Yeah, and it's fascinating like how these newer companies are trying to find their own angle.
Yeah, they're trying to disrupt things.
Yeah, to kind of like shake things up.
Yeah, shake things up.
And potentially like, take over from those established players.
Yeah, challenge the dominance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one that's specifically highlighted is Clipchamp,
Clipchamp. Yeah.
which is now part of Microsoft.
Right, owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, and what's interesting about them is that they're browser-based.
Yeah, that's a real differentiator.
So you don't need to download any software.
No, you just go to a website.
You just go to a website that's so convenient.
Yeah, super convenient.
And they're integrated with all the Microsoft stuff.
Yeah, Microsoft 365, the whole ecosystem.
And cloud storage.
Cloud storage, yeah.
So they've got like a massive potential audience.
Yeah, they could really scale up quickly.
especially in the business world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, they're also using AI.
AI is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Another one is any video converter,
Okay. Any video converter. Yeah.
which is known for its speed
Yeah, they're all about speed.
and supporting lots of different formats.
Wide format support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being able to handle high-resolution video without, like, too much quality loss.
Yeah, that's important for their target audience.
Yeah, so that makes them a good option for maybe, like, more professional
Yeah,
users.
it's people who need that quality.
Yeah, who need that quality.
Yeah.
And they also work on lots of different operating systems.
Yeah, they've got that cross-platform compatibility.
So it's not just Windows. It's Mac.
Yeah, whatever you're using, they've probably got a version for you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we got VSDC.
VSDC, okay.
And what stands out about them is that they offer both, like, video editing
No, they're not just compression.
and compression.
They do editing as well.
and no subscription fees.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
So that's really good for, like, independent creators,
Yeah, filmmakers, educators.
people who don't want to be tied into, like, a monthly payment.
Right, just a one-off cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're also focusing on improving performance and batch processing.
Yeah. They're always making improvements.
So it's kind of like a good value proposition.
Yeah, you get a lot for your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's Zamzar.
Zamzar.
They're completely online.
Yeah, entirely cloud-based.
So no software to install.
Nope, just a website.
That's super convenient.
Yeah, very convenient.
But for a platform like that, like, speed and security are really important.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're uploading large files,
Yeah. You don't want it to take forever.
nah.
And you don't want anyone else to be able to see
And
them.
you want to make sure they're safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Squared 5
Squared 5. Okay.
with their FFmpeg stream clip tool.
Yeah, that's their main offering.
And they seem to be going after, like, the more professional market
Yeah, the Pro.
with advanced tools.
Yeah, advanced compression tools.
And even lossless compression.
Lossless. Yeah. So that's where you don't lose any quality at all.
Wow. So that's like the holy grail of video compression.
Yeah. For some people it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're basically getting a smaller file,
Yeah.
but it looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a real mix of strategies here.
It is. Yeah. It's a diverse landscape.
Like, some companies are all about the cloud. Some companies are all about AI.
Yeah.
Some are about being cost effective.
Right.
Some are about, like, really specialized tools.
Yeah. Finding their niche.
Yeah. It's a really interesting landscape.
It's competitive market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, like, if someone was trying to enter this market now,
Right. If you were starting from scratch.
what would they do?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Like, what would be the key things to focus on?
Well, the material that you shared actually offers some pretty specific guidelines for new entrants,
Okay, cool.
and the message is loud and clear.
Okay.
AI.
Okay.
Loud.
So those are the two big things.
Yeah, those are the two pillars.
Okay.
If you want to make a splash in this market,
Yeah.
you need to be thinking about AI-powered and cloud-based solutions.
Okay. And that makes sense because AI is all about, like, making things smarter.
Yeah, more efficient. More efficient.
Yeah.
And the cloud is all about, like, accessibility and scalability.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what are some of the specific things that a new company could do?
Okay, well, they need to be constantly working on improving compression efficiency,
Okay.
especially for those high-resolution formats.
Right, because those files are just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
And even though internet speeds are getting faster,
Yeah.
nobody wants to wait forever for a video to download.
Or upload.
Or upload, yeah.
Okay.
And AI algorithms are going to be key here
Okay.
for achieving those greater reductions in file size without losing quality.
Right. So it's always about that balance.
Yeah, always about that balance.
Yeah.
There's also this really interesting concept of using machine learning for dynamic bitrate adjustments.
Okay, now explain that one to me like I'm 5.
Okay, so imagine the software is like watching the video
Okay.
as it's compressing it.
Yeah.
And it's saying, okay, this part's really busy.
Yeah.
Lots of action, lots of detail.
We need to use more bits to make sure it looks good.
Okay.
And this part's really calm.
Yeah.
Not much is happening.
Yeah.
We can use fewer bits.
Okay.
So it's constantly adjusting the compression
Yeah.
on the fly.
So it's like intelligent compression.
Yeah, it's adapting to the content.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty clever stuff.
Okay. And then cloud-based processing, we talked about that with Movavi.
Yeah.
But that seems like it's just essential for any new company entering this market.
Yeah, it's almost table stakes at this point.
Yeah, because it takes away the need for people to have, like, really powerful computers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it makes it accessible from anywhere.
And scalable.
And it's scalable, yeah.
You can handle those huge files.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then the material also mentions like specific industries
Right.
that are good opportunities for growth.
Yeah, there are certain sectors that are really hungry for video content.
Okay, so what are they?
So entertainment, obviously.
Okay.
E-learning.
E-learning, yeah, that's booming.
Yeah.
Massive growth.
Gaming.
Gaming.
Yeah. And social media.
Social media. Yeah, those are all industries where videos just exploded.
Yeah, it's all about video now.
Yeah, it really is.
And it also talks about like strategic collaborations.
Yeah.
Like partnering with,
Yeah.
streaming services.
Yeah, Netflix, Amazon.
Social media platforms.
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah. And even digital marketing firms.
Yeah, they all need video.
They all need video.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the business model itself is important.
Yeah, you got to think about how you're going to make money.
Right, because you can have the best technology in the world.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a good business model,
They're not going to survive.
you're not going to survive.
Yeah.
So they talk about offering flexible pricing.
Yeah.
So like freemium tiers.
Yeah, give people a taste for free
Yeah.
and then upsell them to a paid plan.
Subscription plans.
Yeah, subscription plans.
Yeah. And they also talk about APIs.
The APIs, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what are those?
So APIs are ways for developers to integrate the functionality of your software into their own applications.
So it's like making it easy for other people to use your technology.
Exactly. Yeah, it opens up a whole world of possibilities.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So it's not just about having a good product.
No, it's about the whole package.
It's about the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, the ecosystem, the business model.
Yeah. Making it easy for people to use.
Making it accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this this deep dive into the world of video compressors,
Yeah.
we've seen like a market that's already worth billions of dollars.
Yeah, it's massive.
With huge growth projected.
Yeah, and it's only going to get bigger.
And it's all being driven by, our love of online video.
Right, we can't get enough of it.
Yeah, and just the need for everything to be as efficient as possible.
Yeah, we want it fast and we want it high quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the competitive landscape is really interesting.
It is, yeah.
You've got these established players.
Yeah, Big Five.
The Big Five. Wondershare, HandBrake, FFmpeg, FreeMake, Movavi.
Yeah, they've all carved out their own little space.
Yeah. But then you've got these up-and-comers.
Yeah, the disruptors.
The disruptors, yeah.
Yeah.
Clipchamp. Any video converter, VSDC, Zamzar, Squared 5.
Yeah, they're all bringing something new to the table.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, who's going to come out on top?
Yeah, who's going to be the Netflix of video compression.
Exactly.
Yeah. But ultimately, it seems like AI and the cloud,
Yeah.
those are the two big forces
They're shaping the future.
that are going to shape the future of this whole industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the companies that can like really harness those technologies
Yeah.
and make their products easy to use.
User experience is key.
Yeah, and make sure that they work seamlessly across all these different platforms.
Yeah. Cross-platform compatibility is essential.
Yeah, those are the ones that are going to be successful in the long run.
Yeah, that's the recipe for success.
Yeah, okay, so that's a lot to think about.
It is, yeah.
But it leads to a really interesting question,
Okay.
which is, with all these advancements in AI and the cloud,
Yeah.
how do you think video compression is going to change? Not just the size of our video files,
Right.
but like how we actually create and share and experience video.
That's the big question.
Yeah, because it's not just about making files smaller anymore.
No, it's about fundamentally changing how we interact with video.
Yeah, it's about like,
Yeah.
the whole creative process,
Yeah.
how we collaborate,
Yeah. Yeah.
how we consume video.
Yeah, how we experience it.
It feels like we're on the edge of like some really big changes.
Yeah. It's an exciting time to be watching this space.
It is.
Yeah.
So that's something for everyone to think about.
Yeah. Chew on that.
Yeah.